Hello, 225. I see one person is on. Hello. Who is there? I'm guessing it's probably Tony or Alex. Who's watching? Oh, maybe they can't comment. Oh, well. So today I wanted to do a little bit of a sharing circle with you guys. Unfortunately, it'll only be one way, but I've got the ball and everything, so it'll be my turn to chat. If you come in live, then you can share a little on the chat, and then I can share it with everyone else. I'll start a little bit by talking about what my weekend was like. My weekend was strange. So just like you guys, my job is to kind of stay home right now and to not be around other people so that we're not spreading the virus or anything like that, or getting the virus. It's kind of hard to stay home. On Saturday night, I really wanted to go and visit some friends that I hadn't seen in a long time, and they're not sick, or at least they don't seem like they're sick, and I don't seem like I'm sick. So we were chatting about maybe getting together so we could maybe hang out in one room and maybe spread out a little bit so we're not touching each other and we're washing our hands. But then we did a lot of reading, and I talked with Kristen and my mom a bit, and it seemed like it's really not the right thing to do. So I actually stayed home Saturday night, which was a bit of a bummer. But instead of meeting in person, we used a thing called Google Hangouts, and it was kind of like FaceTime, where you can see them in like a video call kind of thing, except we did it with 3 different people. So there was like I was filming myself, and then they were filming themselves, the 2, and then we had all 3 of us on like a screen together. So it was kind of cool to do that. We still hung out. We ended up chatting on there for like 2 hours or something. And I know you guys already do a lot of kind of FaceTime stuff. So instead of going out and seeing your friends, just try to. Okay, who's Trophies? Is this Sean? Because I'm going to talk about Sean in our sharing circle in just a minute. I hope that's Sean. Oh, it's Gabriel. Oh, hi, Gabriel. Hello. Oh, you just subscribed yesterday. Okay. I noticed that. I didn't know who Trophies was. You don't know who Sean is, but for those of you who do know who Sean is, he was one of my students last year, and super, super cool kid. And he graduated from Cecil Rhodes last year. Now he's in grade 10, and he moved back up to his reserve in Fisher River. And he gave me a call on Friday night. We didn't chat Friday night, but we ended up chatting Saturday, and we got to catch up. And it was really good to see to chat with him. And I hope it's okay with him, but I wanted to share a couple of the pictures he sent with you guys. So here's Sean. He says hi. Here's the picture I sent him of Rosie. Hopefully it zooms in, or no, focuses. There we go. And here's Sean again. And then here's Sean's quad. So it looks pretty sweet. As much as it looks pretty sweet up there, I know he misses us. He was saying he misses our room. And I told him that next time that he's in Winnipeg for whatever reason, that he should come in and visit us once school's back. So Sean, if you're watching, hello, buddy. We're all thinking of you. We all miss you too. What else did I do in the weekend? Oh, I went for a big walk with Rosie. I'll show you guys. I got one more picture of that. Sorry, I got lots of pictures to show you. So this was Kristen and I. We went on this trail. There was nobody around, and you can see Kristen climbed this log thing, and then Rosie is down here. And then you can see Ruby in the back there. We took both dogs. So that was in this park. There was nobody really there. And I wanted to talk about going for this walk because some of you might be a little bit confused about why is it okay for some people to be together during this whole virus time? Why is it okay for some people to hang out or to go for walks? And why is it not okay for other people? Well, here's kind of the rule that I've kind of been reading is if you live with somebody, then you can kind of treat that person as if they're a part of you, like you're one person. So the risks that you do, like going for a walk, it's okay if they're with you because you're with them all the time anyway. I live with Kristen and we're together all the time anyway. So if we go out for a walk in a park and we're not talking with other people, we're not going to stores and touching lots of things. We went to a park that was dead. That's okay. If you are, let's say, Sunny, for example, and you want to hang out with Ashton, but you don't live together. You live in separate houses. So if Sunny and Ashton, I'm just using you guys as an example, if Sunny and Ashton were to meet together and hang out, now if Sunny was sick, he can make Ashton sick, who could then make his family sick. Or if it was the other way around and Ashton was sick, he could make Sunny sick, and then Sunny would make his family sick. So that's why we don't want to mix families in that way. So stuff like going for walks, if you wanted to go for a walk and you wanted to go with Buffy or your sister that you live with or Diane, that would be totally okay if you went to a safe place. But what you don't want to do is go and hang out with people that live in other households because then you're kind of putting them in danger. That's not meant to scare you guys. This is just smart. This is just kind of the stuff we're supposed to do so that we can kind of help out during this thing so our hospitals don't get overwhelmed by too many sick people all at once. If we're smart and we do these things, then our hospitals should be nice and safe and fine. I think that's about all I wanted to share with you guys. I'm putting the thing down. I do have Kristen here. She doesn't want to be on camera, but maybe she can say hi.
Hi.
So I brought Kristen to school today. Again, like I said, she's a part of my circle, so it's not really unsafe. And in the school itself, there's actually only maybe 4 teachers in the whole school right now, and none of them are in our classroom. We're kind of in our own space, and we're nice and safe. I think Mr. Vieira is here, Miss McKenzie, maybe Mr. Golden, and then myself, and then Miss Pereira and Mr. Dick, they're here too. So I think there's 6 kind of school staff, and then plus the custodians are here and they're still working on stuff and cleaning things and making sure it's real safe for when you guys have a chance to come back. Okay, that's it for sharing. I think I want to read chapter 4 of this. Last time I only read, I was going to read chapter 3 and 4, but I got cut off because I had to go talk with a parent. But I'll read chapter 4 with you guys. So in this book, Snitch, I think where we're at is Josh is our main character. And I think he's a teenage boy, probably in high school. And he did something he wasn't supposed to do. He made a mistake, and I think he got into a fight or something. And now he has to go to this anger management program. But it's a kind of an interesting anger management program where he gets to train dogs. And I guess it's supposed to teach him about responsibility and about being calm and things like that. But I think the scary part in the book is that, first of all, the dog that he got, his name's Sully, and this dog is terrifying. Apparently it's this huge, like, pit bull looking thing. And the kid that he hates, this guy named Scott, is the helper in the program who kind of has some power and is good with dogs. So Josh hates that he needs to get help from this kid that he can't stand. So I think where we left off is Josh is living with his older brother, Andrew, and his girlfriend, Miranda. I think that's her name. Yeah, Miranda. And Miranda doesn't like Josh staying there. I don't think Josh has parents that he can live with right now. I think his dad might have passed away. I'm not sure. Can't remember what happened. Anyway, chapter 4. When we arrived at the program, we were supposed to go and see our dogs so they could get used to us. Then we went to the training room and spent 45 minutes talking about what our day had been like so far. Mr. Weller said the idea was to decompress before Maggie and Scott got there and showed us how to train the dogs. He said the dogs could tell if we were tense or angry about something, but that if we talked out our problems first, we would be relaxed, and that would relax the dogs. I think that kind of sounds like our sharing circle. Maybe it would have worked too, except that as soon as we settled in the circle in the training room, someone new joined us, Travis Keenan. He swaggered into the room, looking cool in his leather jacket, his hands jammed into his pockets. He looked around like he expected everybody to drop what they were doing and pay attention to him. That's the kind of guy he was. It didn't matter how big a room was. It was never big enough for Travis and his ego. He had a scar under one eye that made him look even meaner than he was. Mr. Weller got up and got a chair for him, which probably made Travis feel even more special. Then we all had to say our names one by one and talk about the best thing and the worst thing that had happened to us so far that day. I said the best thing was coming up here to learn something new, even though that wasn't true. The actual best thing so far was getting out of the house so I didn't have to listen to Miranda nag at me. I said the worst thing hadn't happened yet, even though I couldn't think of anything worse than Travis being a part of the group. Mr. Weller looked at me as if he didn't quite believe me, but he let it pass. When we finished going round the circle, Mr. Weller told us to stack the chairs out of the way. Travis hooked his chair in one hand and started to drag it over to the wall. He paused when he got to me and said, "Don't think I've forgotten about you, Gillick." Then he stared at me, trying to scare me, right? Mr. Weller clapped his hands to get our attention. Some guy I had never seen before came into the room and stood next to Mr. Weller. He was holding a camera. Then Maggie and Scott and a couple of other people brought in the dogs. I was kind of hoping Sully, the big white dog from yesterday, had got sick or something. But no, there he was, barking and straining at his leash. It was complete chaos for a few minutes until everyone got their dogs. I hung back as long as I could. Finally, I had no choice. I took Sully by the leash. He barked and jumped. I said, "Stop, bad dog." The guy with the camera turned toward me. I realized he was videotaping me. Oh my gosh. "Hey," I said, "point that thing somewhere else." But I don't think he heard me because Sully was still barking and jumping up on me. Finally, Scott came over, took the leash from me, and talked gently but firmly to the dog. And just like that, the dog calmed down. Figures, huh? "He knows me," Scott said. "He'll be better when he gets to know you." Maggie said we were going to start teaching the dogs how to obey commands. She said the goal was to get the dogs to obey the commands every single time. The first thing she showed us was how to get the dogs to sit. It sounded simple, especially when she demonstrated it with a dog she had brought with her. But guess what? It wasn't simple, especially not with Sully. The girl, Amy, got her mousy little dog to sit down almost right away. Her dog wasn't aggressive like most of the others. Her dog was terrified of people. Most of the other guys got their dogs to sit at least once. Even Travis finally got his dog to sit. But me, my stupid dog just stood there, no matter how many times I followed Maggie's instructions. Finally, I lost it. I shoved the dog's butt down onto the floor and told him to stay there. The dog's response? He jumped up, barking and growling, and tried to take a chunk out of me. When I jumped back out of his way, I stepped on Amy's dog's tail. The little dog, oh my gosh, the little dog yowled and bit my ankle. Actually bit my ankle. Everyone thought that was hilarious. Well, except for Mr. Weller. He got Maggie to take my dog, and then he told Scott to take me to the first aid room to have someone look at my ankle. "I can find it myself," I said. No way I was going anywhere with Scott. Mr. Weller looked at me, but he didn't argue. Instead, he gave me directions. The dog's sharp teeth had broken the skin. The woman who looked at the bite, she was young and had a terrific smile, said it wasn't deep and I shouldn't worry because the dog had all her shots. She washed it and put some cream on and a Band-Aid on top of that. When I went back into the room, Sully barked at me again. Stupid dog. Everyone laughed. Hey, Gillick, Travis said. They got you on tape. Maybe we should send it to that funny video show on TV. What do you think? Everyone laughed again. Andrew was sitting out in the parking lot. He looked tired. Andrew's his brother. He looked tired. It had been late the night before when he went out, and I hadn't heard him come back in. How'd it go? He said. You gonna ask me that every day? I snapped. Whoa, someone's in a bad mood. I got in the car and slammed the door. Andrew got in beside me. That bad, huh? He said, smiling, trying to keep it light. I hate it, okay? I said. I hate the stupid dogs. I hate the people there. I hate everything about it. Well, you're going to have to stick with it, Josh, he said. You know that, right? Yeah, I know. I have no choice. They're making me do it, but they can't make me like it. Blam! Geez, I just about jumped out of my seat. Andrew had brought both his fists down hard on the steering wheel. His face was all twisted. He looked like he wanted to punch something. He sat there, breathing hard, not moving. After about a minute, his breathing went back to normal. They called me into work tonight, he said. I'll drop you off, then I have to go. Great. One crappy day followed by what was guaranteed to be a crappy night alone with Miranda. So that's chapter 4. I think I'm going to stop there and we'll do chapter 5 tomorrow. We did have 2 people that are watching, and Gabriel's the only one that's said hi. I'm not sure who the other one is. Can you say hi? I'd love to know who it is. It's got to be Alex, Tony. I don't know. Maybe Zach. Well, anyway, I'll keep updating the website, guys, with stuff. My live streams will always be at 10:30 in the mornings, and then in the afternoon, I'll release another video that'll be more about our reading stuff, that kind of thing. I've already done a couple of those. So I miss you guys. I wish you could be here. Unfortunately, we can't for a little while, but let's make the best out of it. I hope you're getting some exercise at home and trying to keep a little bit of routine. Mr. Woloski made a website for his gym class, and it's linked on my website if you click on exercise. So check that out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.